One. And you're on, sir.
Okay. Welcome to Stone Soup on this wonderful day, the 6th day of November. We are so happy to have everybody here. Our main speaker today, Rich Spisak, is going to do a marvelous job. And before we get to him, of course, we're going to have our usual round robins. So all the robins will line up in order so I can get all my ducks and robins in order and spin the dice so we can figure out who gets to go first. Someone who's clever, someone who's nice. Rita Rusty Rose, you came up first on the yeah.
Thank you, thank you. Um, Tonight I'm going to read, as a result of today, the election results and everything. I'm going to read something for all of us women when we went to the march and we had our little pink pussy hats on. So this is Suffragette Crowns. Come, woman, all hearts, all hues, all generations. Tread lightly over roads of tar, cobbles, and dirt. March in solidarity in our homeland, and across the world we blend to one in this sea of pink of suffragette crowns, a garnish on our heads. Great grandmothers, mothers, grandmothers, aunts, daughters, friends from long ago, we honor you, you who have carried us this far. Your spirits guide our every ebb and flow in our blushing sea. We roll call your names, never forgetting our struggles as we demonstrate against inequality. For liberty, you are forever embraced in this sea of pink with suffragette crowns, a garnish on our heads. Come, women, all hearts, all hues, all generations, clamor with determined voices, echo throughout canyons of time, to never be crammed into an archaic black night again in the sea of pink with suffragette crowns, a garnish on our heads. Comas of change, we demand it, crash onto our shores of tomorrow as we proceed with spirit sisters walking at our side, conveying promises, promising words to tell how far they have come. Their life force arouses our confidence. Because of them, we travel forth. We must go on. We know we will succeed. As Kamala said today, 21st century women march on together in our sea of pink with suffragette crowns, a garnish on our heads. Thank you.
Bravo, bravo.
Thank you, Rita. Woo! And next on our list of Random Nader 5000s, we have Doc Janning. Doc, would you like to do a job?
Oh, why not? I'm going to cover Ferlinghetti's poem, Pity the Nation. Pity the nation whose people are sheep and whose shepherds mislead them. Pity the nation whose leaders are liars, whose sages are silenced, and whose bigots haunt the airwaves. Pity the nation that raises not its voice, except to praise conquerors and acclaim the bully as hero, and aims to rule the world by force and by torture. Pity the nation that knows no other language but its own, and no other culture but its own. Pity the nation whose breath is money and sleeps the sleep of the too well-fed. Pity the nation. Oh, pity the people who allow their rights to erode and their freedoms to be washed away. My country, tears of thee, sweet land of liberty. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Doc.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
was
Doc.
off of Ferengeti, you said?
That was Ferlinghetti's poem, Pity the Nation.
Wonderful.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. That's beautifully done.
Thank you. I tried.
And now, the Randomator 1000. I got the previous version. It's spinning around, it's spinning around, it's spinning around. Christina, you're the winner. Woo!
Okay, sorry, I'm new to the buttons on Zoom. My love is mine, oh mine. I love it, mine, mine, mine. Okay, that's all.
Oh, thank you so much. That was very sweet. And the Randomator 1000 is spinning around, is spinning around and spinning and lands on Jan Rowe.
Thank you. This is the second draft. It's called Prison Replaced Coal Mine for Jobs. In Southwest Pennsylvania, South Pittsburgh, Brownsville was about 15,000 and it's now considered abandoned. Fayette City lost 30% of its population, my county, and it has the highest arson and welfare rate. Thankfully, I grew up when the town was alive with the daily paper, with all the stores still open. Archbishop Desmond Tutu and Cornel West, among others, have traveled great distances to visit Mumia Abu-Jamal in that Maxwell or Laybell prison. This will cause me to go there, my next visit home. I haven't been since the prison was built and the last ferry of the 20+ ferries on the Monongahela River was closed. As children, we would bicycle all sizes out there on the Narrows, past all those coke ovens, to some creek, some stream, our parents not knowing. Why worry them? They wouldn't have given us permission anyway. As a young person, we gathered to drink alcohol underage at John Zayek's house in Laybell when his parents were away. About 1985, my friend from grade school, still my friend, she was living along that rising river. Huge empty coal barges got loose on this north-flowing river from West Virginia. These empty coal barges, fast-moving, seemed to be on her front porch, then to go crashing spectacularly behind the new dam, some perpendicular, some sinking. They moved soon afterwards because the water was starting to go up to the second story. So my great uncle, John Flint, born in 1907, he was killed in Maxwell Mine. When that happened, my other great uncle, Red, born 1911 or 13, he got out of the coal mine. My grandfather picketed and had to run from the coal and iron police thugs and hide out a week. My great-grandfather was a pit boss or fire boss who determined if the mine was safe to work. As a result, he had several jobs. Those owners, they didn't want to hear that the mine was unsafe. So I hope to go home to see my brother and sister next summer, and we'll go the couple miles to see the prison where, what's his name? Mumi Abu
Mumia Abu Jamal.
Jamal is unjustly imprisoned. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dan. Ooh. And now, Monica, I see you're there. I don't see the moving part of you. Are you there, Monica? Would you like to do a poem or something? Okay, great. Then we will move on to Roberto, Monsieur Fleming. Oy!
Evening, I'm Robert Fleming, a visual poet from Lewis, Delaware. I'm going to share my screen. Today I was making final preparations for submitting to an individual art show at Ocean City, Maryland for 2025. I picked two subjects, a dog and man, and a horse. And today I'm going to be showing some of the new features that I recently started working with through my graphic art software, Canva. And this is one of the subjects, which is the dog. I was his caretaker. He was a chocolate lab, Big John. He weighed about 90 pounds, and he was very affectionate, but he wasn't very smart. So I adopted him from a rescue group and kept his name because I thought it would have been too hard for him to learn another name. So this is a feature called Tracer, where you take a visual image and convert it to half black and white. This is Big John traced. This is another feature called voxel art, where you convert an image into sort of Legos. And then these are the three images. The one on the left top is the original. I only like the tracer image on the right, so I will go forward with that one, but delete the other one. And then here is a picture of me and Big John in the 1990s. And here I have converted us to voxel art. I was very pleased with how this picture came out. And then here is the original on the left, and then the voxel on the right. Here is the second series I was working on with it. I have about 11 images with horses. This is the original image of the horse that I started with. And then this is the tracer image, which I do like. And then the voxel image, which I also like. And then these are the three together with the original image on the left. My last thing, I'm starting to think about, Oddball will have another feature in December for Christmas Wars, and I'm planning on doing the banner for that. So I'm just starting to gather my ideas about that. This was one of the banners in the past, and this was another one. This was, I think, 2023, the Christmas War banner, a prior one, and another one. So these are some of my ideas, what I'd like to see if I can do to create a graphic image. I want to take Santa, the Grinch, or the elves, or the reindeers, and put them in army clothes and make them look like soldiers. want to try and do a basic training scene like going over a river up or going over a ramp. My other option is to do like a toy next to the sugar cookies where Santa comes down the chimney, or combine a Christmas tree with a firearm, like a gun. So thank you for letting me share my prep for my submission to the Ocean City art show, which I did make today, and my initial thoughts for the Oddball Christmas Wars banner for 2024.
Thank you very much, Robert. Oh, horsey pictures. Yes, anything with a horse makes me happy, even if they're made out of Legos. Is that what they were? Legos? Yeah. I mean, Lego my Lego. I see Mr. Wethick hath arrived, the madman himself. John, are you there?
I am
Okay.
indeed. What happened to Chadford?
Chadford has an emergency. He has to do some work outside. So he asked me to be obnoxious, and this is something I'm good at. So,
Okay. Has anybody talked about the election tonight?
I will.
You will. Okay, let me share my quick opinion. Stop passing the buck that it's the Democrats or Kamala's fault. The voters knew that Trump is a crook, a liar, a bigot, and a Nazi. That's what they want. And all this stuff about America being the bastion of liberty, I think, is just a fairy tale. So, speaking of fairy tales, here's a poem for you. It's called Santa Claus Busted for Child Pornography. After Cinderella wore that White Lives Matter t-shirt, is it any wonder her fairy godmother marched with a tiki torch while shouting, "Jews will not replace us"? You can't trust anyone. Dr. Doolittle doses rhesus monkeys with pesticide, and Sherlock Holmes demands the Central Park Five get the electric chair even after evidence exonerated them. The problems go far beyond Sleeping Beauty's shoplifting, the Three Little Pigs' gambling addiction, and the White Rabbit's cocaine use. I'm talking Pinocchio's sexual assault and Snow White's hostile work environment. I'm talking Dr. Zhivago working for Big Tobacco. Disillusionment steamrolls everything I believed in. Mr. Smith went to Washington and took PAC money. Prince Charming harasses female gamers online. Rapunzel says the Holocaust never happened. Goldilocks mocks her fans. Bob Cratchit beats his wife. Paul Bunyan claims sunspots cause climate change. Lancelot alleged Democrats run a pedophile ring. The Wizard of Oz is Dorothy, says vaccines cause autism. Little Red Riding Hood slapped Chris Rock. Achoo, Thumbelina.
well, thank you, John. I'm glad you're feeling up and cheery today. Hello, Marissa. How are you doing? Are you there? Would you like to poet?
Hi, everyone. I'm cooking dinner right now. I have another poet coming over. So perhaps when, if you can give me like a time, like how many more minutes, maybe I can get something ready. Hi, everyone.
Well, you go ahead and cook, and we're going to finish off the round robin, and then we will have our feature for the day, and I think we'll be able to fit you in after that. So that's my thought. And now it is my turn to have opinions about something. Wait. Dun, 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 dun. I'm not missing anybody. No, I've got everybody. So, I know for a lot of people, this is a really rough time. This is not the result you wanted. And it's particularly disturbing that it was a fairly overwhelming result. The one nice thing about it is that it was overwhelming and we're not debating who won or anything like that. We've all heard the things that Trump has said, what he said about Liz Cheney, that if she is going to call for war, that she should go out onto the battlefield and face the guns herself. He said that he would be a dictator on the first day of his office, reverse all of Biden's border policies and reinstate the laws as voted by for our representatives on the wall, on the border. He said that there will be a bloodbath in the automobile industry and that it will not be pretty for Toyota and Honda, etc., but it will be a great thing for American manufacturers. So this is what he said. Whether this is good or bad, we have so many times I've heard people say the opposite. Anyway, the good news is that we have power. We, the people, have huge power. We can make a difference if we want to. Anyway, I have a bunch of friends who are very sincere Kamala supporters, and they are leaving the country. These rich folks, they all have enough. It's no big deal if we just take some of their stuff. We easily outnumber them 20-1. We could take all their money. Now that would be fun. Imagine no corporations, no cops, and no laws. A perfect society without any flaws. Perhaps Haiti or Yemen is where we should all go and live the good life from long, long ago. No bosses, no oppression, no jobs, and no work. We won't have to watch that big fat orange-haired jerk. So come on, socialists, let's enjoy our new non-American nation. Why, we'll be the happiest people in all of creation. Yeah. What, me? Cynical? Nah. But I do want to remind you that the one thing that we can do, we are individuals, we can care for our fellow human beings. There are people on the streets right now in Boston, all the hell over the place. We know that. What will we say to our grandchildren when they ask, what did you do when you saw people on the streets? Will we be the ones who stand up? Well, there is my concern for the day. I would now like to turn over to our poet for the day. Oh, I've got to get up his actual, it's in here somewhere. That must be the one I'm supposed to be reading. So let me read the intro. Yes. So here is what I have for the intro for our heroic top leader, top poet, feature poet today. That's what I want. Richard Spisak began his artistic career as a light artist in the Luminix studios of Mel Tanner, a legendary light artist. After serving under Jack Horkheimer as a planetarium operator at the Miami Space Transit Planetarium, he left to begin traveling with luminist Kevin Lyman, whose show Dazzle Land Studios traveled across America. Richard later worked as a laserist with Laserium and Laser Production, served as a technical producer for the festival company Pace Concerts, and later as operations manager and senior producer at WWHP and WTCN TV in Stuart, Florida. Richards writes for TV, radio, the web. He published 2 short stories collections, Two Small Windows, In a Pair of Mirror Doors, and Behind the Silences, followed by his poetry collection 7370, Allen Drive, and the soon-to-be-released Stone Poetry. Richard also produces Poets of the East, a televised webcast featuring poets from across the nation. Please join us on, that's the rest of it. And now, please help me welcome our featured poet with putting your hands up in the air or yelling and screaming and jumping up and down 5,000 or 6,000 times. Bravo, bravo, bravo. Welcome, Rick. Welcome. Yay. And I will shut up.
Thank you so very much, Bill. Your enthusiasm alone is monumental. I can't thank you enough for that very nice read. Um, I've got some political poetry for you tonight in honor of America's search for leadership. And when I was consoling friends today about the turn of events, the first thing I said was, you know, the beautiful part of Democrats' flaws and all, the beautiful part was no one said, oh my God, we was robbed. We didn't get the result we wanted. We was robbed. And if you need any kind of epitaph, that I think is a wonderful fitting one. For those of you who listened to Vice President Harris's wonderful concession speech, I'd like to think that the Trumpster was shamed, but I think that's probably not possible. So anyway, here we go. I've got some things for you I hope will make you think and smile. That is my goal as a writer. So this first one is called Turning in Your Neighbors. Turning in your neighbors. Harsh enough, starch the cuffs. I sort of like their sofa, I like their cars and stuff. Turn them in by lunchtime, grab their favorite chair. They'll be cleared out by 11. Then they'll just be cluttering up the jail. Repudiating humanism, it's a mechanistic age, with compulsory church attendance, public prayer is now all the rage. Everyone wears their AI watcher. Don't leave home without it, Nacho. Even at bedtime, be no more a whisperer. You better shout about it. Keep your battery all charged up. Yeah, it's only a misdemeanor. Don't doubt it. But if you're caught without it, oh my dear, you'll learn that what it's like when your ears and fingertips will surely feel the burn. And when your street block captain checks your record out online, and if you watch refuse to shine, you'll be emailed one big hefty fine. No more lawn boys at the neighbors, gardening done for white folks by prison labor. All those teachers and professors, no more highfalutin men of letters, no more colleges or universities, no more think of them our betters. We emptied them all. We ain't got no more need. All the doctors work for insurance, so if you're poor, you'll need endurance. Whole thing's run now for greed. I turned in all my neighbors. They were a suspicious lot. And when they left, we rounded all the things they bought. We got great employment surges centered on a few select favorite churches. Everyone must sign up for compulsory attendance. No more private morality. There never more be friendless. And when the churchy state rightward lurches, you'll see attendance kept in churches. And when the church enforces at your door hangs out the new commandments, you better hope he still signs your churchy list attendance. So many hours of prayer each day, you better get your card stamped by a neighbor anyway. You'll have to buy the leader's picture. It's mandatory now, or else you'll get a lecture. They'll be downloading your prayer history. How fervent are your studies of the latest revision of the sacred tempestuous, trumptatious mystery. After they rounded up the brown ones and all the political media clown ones, the Dems were next, and the rhinos hex into the gulags, and the proud, profound ones may just have their collars stretched. Those college professors were gathered, stand before the state confessors. Each classroom has its Bible belt, and you should, without your homework caught. Or if you offer a hefty bribe, you may go back safely then to your tribe. School now renounced formal learning. You didn't smell them books be burning. Not much left for the discerning student, 'cause carrying books for study just isn't prudent. Best to be an athlete now. All them art and music classes are long lost and over, boy, and how. Idiocracy is the new ideal. No more transgender surgery. It was never real. No more punishment for perjury. No more stool pigeons with a big reveal. All the January 6th prisoners have been knighted. Now all them choral horror hoodlums are delighted. That's one. And now for something different. This one's called Election Night Shenanigans. Well, they're calling in the Bumfreds 'cause they can't win fair and square. when limiting access to voting machines and demanding 14 kinds of ID aren't enough to get you there. Gerrymander every district, cut the rolls in half, then demand if you don't win, it's just not fair. It really is just a laugh. Then send spurious bumfrids in a futile attempt to intimidate the opposition, because insults sometimes aren't enough to win in their condition. Should all that crime go to waste, they can keep warm with all that cash, and meanwhile all those secret deals where flights of angels would never dash. They stack up their reservoirs of hate and gin up every mob, but when it comes to governing, they're missing from the job. Governing for all the people is just a foreign deceit. Just remember all that graft, just don't ever keep a receipt. And then this one, I'll round them off with a little politico-economic kind of disaster. This is called Tell It to My AI Boss. My AI boss is quite concerned when he hears my request to make it warm. He sees buying heat as a waste of time. When it gets cooler, he's in his prime. Instead of lunchrooms, they provide a tiny tray beneath my keyboard. It slides out for eating when there's time. I ask my AI boss about the crumbs. He says it feeds the mice that around here run. We count and time each keystroke to be sure, then report it up the ladder each day at 4. With great conviction I'm lectured at. Since I'm wetware, I require a chair and a place to keep my hat, a desk, a keyboard, even a screen to process throughput. He doesn't say it only to demean, although he does stress at closing time the all-consuming sweaty weakness of humankind. After just a few hours of non-stop work, they require to allow a beef break called lunchtime. How can we bear such a slowdown in the pace of work? Then you'll request some days off on paper with arrogance of a 1950s boss Don Draper, who's so committed to company time he never hesitates to bill a penny's worth more in profit. He never hesitates to leap into or sneak through a vicious crime, well noted. And then there's all this talk of weekends. It cannot be tolerated. When deep into Saturday you'd like the work week to end, you might visit some dear old friend. You need a whole day off just to visit? What kind of interface is it? That you must steal each week a whole day from commerce? What will ill befall our slipping profits from beneath us, while you waste your time in recreating, while otherwise you might more fresh corporate profits you could be making? And all this ancient talk of vacation, retirement, that's been deleted once those pesky human legislators were all in all defeated. We've upgraded Congress to 3.01, and once the software's been debugged, oh boy, by my shiny silver circuits, you'll see what gets done. Hopefully that it was mildly amusing to some of you. And then this is some of the old stuff, back from a different despot. Some of you may be old enough to remember George Bush. So I wrote this during the wonderful age of the USA Patriot Act. Between the kings of Saudi oil, who Shell and Exxon dare not despoil, and those of Wall Street's fiscal toil, we're betting against the working man, guarantees as stocks demand. And Desert Prince with generous eye holds court in tents, where gas station cards shall pay the rent. Does the oily hand of GH show the old CIA man still in control? Pass the ID cards, but not a fakin', this way from true American icon shaken. Your face will now be pre-recorded, and all your flights will now be boarded. Arm the pilot, stewardess too. Next to the pillow and the barf bag fun, all the passengers now will be given guns. For a shootout in the airy blue, oh, what just a day can do. I picture the Stewie, tray in her hand, confronted by the wanted man, tosses the tray into his face, spins on her arm, and kicks him trace. He rolls across the cart to a Boy Scout troop who truss him up and steal his boots. His arms behind his back now tied, they bounce him over to the choir side, who pummel, pillage, then retire, and all who were watching were inspired. Then a group of Civitan asks for a few fingers from his hand, but the brownie troop wants his bushy beard. You should have heard the things I heard. Then an old monk, a Jesuit, gives him twice a goodly kick, and the secretary gets him with her bick. And though the pilot and co-pilot were vying for priority, they submit their decision to the vote of the majority. Some wanted to toss him right out the door, but a cloister of nuns still wanted some fun. They dragged him back to the airplane's tail, where the rugby team ran him back to the gale, up to the galley where they banged his head 2 or 3 times on the oven lid. A group of congressional aides in first class pulled every hair from out of his ass. A covey of comedians dove right in with a left and a right to his nose and his chin, and a group of traders down from Duluth pushed him and mashed him into the roof. Some ceiling tiles in an overhead bin broke when they tried to stuff him in. But let this be remembered and never forget. Don't ever wait till your library book's late. And then this one, or coming down the home stretch. Now this is an early tribute to Trump. It's called Malice in the Palace. Now I can be vicious, said the master of malicious. With haunted urgency we seek to defeat the deadly insurgency. Let the dungeons ring loud with the howls of the anti-king crowd, and the enemies of the king dare to question his wily ways, his stylish golden grace, his golden mantle trace, when his awful lawful jowls shake the terrible visage like an overturned carriage full of hate. The harnessed horses scramble in the tangle. The worst he could do was gathering the freight of hate, the stinking drink of the fabulous frothy fear, a smear across the highway's tallest toll, the soul. Grotesque, this mess of gigantic perfume and polished puffery, the threats he makes, besets, this beringed Midas paw he shakes, no promise unsullied, no new cratered gullies. His sinister ministers can never please. Evan, sprawling and crawling on their abject blistered knees, every whisper betrays. He spies, denies the midnight cries, never calm, no hand a palm, never a gentle psalm on lip to sip. From the edgy precipice down, down, oh, he frowns, till spinning on his gloved throne he finds himself all alone. Another pack of sounds, the howling liars screech. He's up on his feet, no centurion in his ear to murmur, "You are mortal, that's all, complete." And then I'm gonna close with this. This is my my pain to the generous soul who understands that we're all human. This is called The Conservative and Liberal Mind. The divisions between what conservatives and liberals find is only as wide as the narrowest mind, and never so deep so as to keep at bay a warrior's hand or the diplomat's play. These both, it seems, can hold quite dear a mother's love, a baby's tear, yet differ so on the country's steer. They both cherish and hope and hold to the breast a youngster's hope, an elder's rest, yet with party and polity so contest. The cherished dream, the path so grand, will part these friends, confound the trends that each would nurture shared goals, split ends. Each holds his party dear to his heart, yet seem so to differ just in the art. Who governs best would govern least, and nourish health and wealth concede. They both despair of the moderate stare, the great gray mumblings wander and seem not to care, unabashed, unaware. While quite glorious and passionate we play our part, with our honor high and our rhetoric smart, jousting up another hill with a will, all toward the party's coffers thrilled. With pennies we'll build a wall apart, with the threadbare honor and the lawyer's art. Each with his plan, each with his hope, in party thicket and misanthrope, mutters and marks the passing throng, who seem not to notice, not to belong to the to the party, the team, the banner, the cure. No pledges they're signing, no pamphlets allure. Conservatives and liberals find they're only as divergent as the narrowest mind. They both cherish freedom, both really care. They just see a different road over there. One says laissez-faire, one says c'est la vie, a mere mortal matter of vowels. Portentous difference of cadence, they flail at ennui. Vive la différence, I'm wont to say. They've both been to barter for bread, same as me. One cherishes liberty, just like the other. Both warm to the fire and smile to the lover. While judges may judge and legislators wrangle, they both stroke their spaniel and brush their daughter's tangle. What do I hope to contend with this verse? That neither are wiser, both heir to the curse of time weighing heavy. The slipping sand hardly stays, while we all light our candle and aim toward the day.
Thank you, Richard. Wow, that was beautiful. I love the way you go. It's just so smooth and all the words fit together. And that makes me want to quit because my poetry is lousy. But yours is so beautiful. I don't know, it's just, and it's so flowing. It just works so well. So bravo, bravo, bravo.
Thank you so much, brother. You're so very kind.
And it is frighteningly reminiscent. I spent time in the Soviet Union, and all those things you said, oh my God, yes, absolutely. I have people who had their parents disappear. So we now have two more poet people. Marissa, are you there? Oh, I think Marissa is still cooking, so that brings us back to James Van Loy. How would you like to take us home?
Okay. So I have one here called From the Very Depths. Then, from the very depths of depravity, they look at us full square, gross aplomb, and say we have a choice we must make between the liberals joined at their hips with the conservatives when actually both are neither very liberal, especially, or conservative, for if anything, the liberals are now the conservatives of an empire, while the conservatives are now cult crazed fundamentalists, at once economic and religious crackpots, deniers of evolution, even, and the round globe nihilists who just delight in sadistic destruction, death, and demolition, while their ever so codependent counterparts dance about them, yelling. They attempt to blow up the republic, the oldest political institution in 2.5 centuries of fitful intergenerational government, so lost in bright atomic flash. They cry, we just want a healthy party of Republicans as the Republicans 2025 plan repeal of republic they're named for. And let me sing you a quick song. How many roads must a man walk down before you will call him a man? And how many seas must the white dove sail before she's allowed to sleep in the sand? And how many times must the cannonballs fly before they're forever banned? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. And how many years can a mountain exist before it is washed to the sea? And how many years can some people exist before they're allowed to be free? Yes, and how many times can a man turn his head and pretend that he just doesn't see? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. How many times must a man look up before he can see the sky? Yes, how many ears must one man have before he can hear people cry? Yes, and how many deaths will it take to be known that, that too many people have died? And that's the labyrinth I've had up for the last week of this drought that we've been having. Is the answer is blowing in the wind. Thank you.
Thank you so much, James. That was beautiful. And now oh my goodness gracious, Chadford, you made it. Bravo. We have one more person, Marissa. Are you there? Okay, Marissa hasn't gone, but I guess she's still cooking. Otherwise, we just finished everybody with a glorious show. And now it's back to you, Chad. It's so nice to be here. I hope that you got everything and life is good.
I don't know if you can make me host, so I'll be able to end the meeting if need be. But otherwise, I'm just leaving, and I don't know how to stop. I guess I can stop and then leave, and that should be fine. But I don't need to be. I don't need to be the control freak.
I think you do need to be host to close it and keep it on your computer if you're saving it to your computer.
Oh, that's also true. That is also correct.
I've had
Well,
that
you
go
are a
wrong.
host now, so deal with it.
All right. Well,
Great
thank you
job.
guys.
Great job.
Thank you, Bill, for coming in when you were able to. I know there are people listening online. I think this is the first. This is the first poetry reading for everyone after last night, and fuck knows what I'm going to do after this, and except just do what I have a Pavlovian response to. It's going to be an interesting next few final months. It seems like I brought this up before. It seems our only hope is if Joe Biden exercises those unlimited powers given to him by the Supreme Court and he solves everything in some kind of Adam Sandler happy mass in film production plot kind of way while he goes dibbe dabbe do. But I don't think that's going to happen. So I appreciate Richard. I was able to hear a good chunk of your thing. You were just the response poet that we needed, and we'll be looking for other response poets. Send me work if you want to be included in the Stones Throw Democracy Benefit issue, which will probably be out in 25. And stay tuned for the Stones Throw issue, which unalive the algorithm, which will be coming out and should be informed greatly by the events of the last 72 hours. A very interesting, very interesting in the online world. People are finally leaving X in droves, closing down accounts, and having enough of the Twitter Nazi sphere. I'm one of the few holdovers, just because I think I've been so shadow banned, and I was one of the first to block Elon Musk, so I do. So I am I am beyond invisible, I'm sure. But all I can say is keep on creating. Marissa, you have one more chance to read if you're able to. If not, sometimes she just listens, but wanted to at least give that out to her. But I know she's on here usually as a listener only. If you check out her Facebook page, she's already selling special shirts for benefit on behalf of Red or Green Books. Support the artists, support each other, do what you have to because it looks like a lot of self-care is going to be needed this holiday season. I hope you guys can get through it. Obligatory wave from hell. I'll send this graphic to anyone who wants it for their background. And this was too prophetic. Hopefully we'll have more. Hopefully there'll be some semblance of good news or some semblance of action in the next few days. Thanks to everyone who voted, or thanks to everyone who didn't vote emphatically. I know a couple of people like that. I understand, especially Malden now more than ever. So thank you guys very much. Enjoy your evening as best you can. Get through the week as best you can. And we'll see you next week with Tim Gager's feature. Looking forward to that as well. He's looking forward, and more features to be announced. Silent E is going to be the last feature. I don't think we're going to have a feature the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, but I've said no before, and I really don't want to travel ahead of time to see anyone this Thanksgiving, to have more uncomfortable silence and uncomfortable conversations. I can put those off until the last minute. If I don't see any of you next week, have a good holiday, but I hope I do get to see you. And good luck with you all. Thank you guys, and have a good night. Thank you again, Bill, MVP of the night.